Good morning. Today is the 12th of June. Let's read together Proverbs chapter 11, verse 17. The man who shows loving kindness does himself good, but the man without pity hurts himself. We have been talking on these meditations on grace, wisdom, and words, that everything that we sow, we are going to harvest. I live here in this 64. It's the Atlantic Pyrenees, and I live in the Basque country, the Basque part of the 64. And on the other side of this huge river called Adour, there is another part of France that is called Les Landes. And people know them by the nickname of sweet corn eaters, because they grow lots of maize on the other side of the river. And when you grow it, that's what you're going to have at the end, at the harvest. In the north of France, that was they grew lots of wheat, and when you grow wheat, that's what you're going to have. So this text is saying that when we show love, kindness, we are going to do ourselves good. But if we are without pity, we are going to hurt ourselves. That's the way the Proverbs of Solomon works. Like the other day, he was comparing the woman that was beautiful and kind to a person who was not kind at all. And the results of their kindness or non-kindness will be seen in their own lives. Before Jesus, I'm going to read in Ecclesiastes 11:1. Ship your grain across the sea. After many days, you may receive a return. Again, is this law of sowing and harvesting. And finally, Jesus says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 7, blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Mercy is a quality that comes from God. When we are merciful, it means that we have received mercy. If we show no mercy, it's because we haven't got it to show. How can we show love, the love of God, if we haven't received it? And as we say, and I say here very often, Romans 5:5 says that the Holy Spirit has poured out the love of God in our hearts. That's why our hope will never fail. Our hope will never fail because we have got God's love in our hearts. But love your enemies, says Luke 6:35. It is Jesus himself speaking. Do good to them and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. So it makes me think that all these texts, they are talking more and more about, not about materials things, but he's talking about spiritual blessings, because Jesus is teaching us here that we should actually lend and give without expecting to get anything back. And you know that lots of people who did good in their lives were killed for their faith. Jesus was crucified. And even today, people who are doing good are dying for their faith. So we are not talking about receiving material things in return. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, because he is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. We know that God is kind to the ungrateful. How do we know that? We know because you and I, we have been taught by God's grace. This text is talking about every one of us. Everyone has sinned, says Romans. But we are freely saved by God's grace. So when you show mercy, it's because you have become the son, a child of the Most High. We could put this text in, start reading from the end and say that we know that you are children of the Most High, and your reward will be great, because you lend without expecting to get anything back, and you love and you do good to your enemies. My last verse is very interesting. Listen to this. Proverbs 11:10. When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. When the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. Isn't that sad? We celebrate the birth and the death of people we call heroes. But you never celebrate the birth or the death of a terrible person, do you?